The iPhone 14 Pro Max was the clear favorite, and by a wide margin. It's not just the bigger 6.7 inches display or the potential for more battery life. It seems current iPhone buyers want all the features that come with Apple's premium handset. Welcome to Creative Random Video. And good news, this is the ultimate iPhone. It's no more powerful than the identical but smaller 6.1 inches iPhone 14 Pro, but noticeably more so than the new iPhone 14. And its big brother, the 6.7 inches iPhone 14 Plus. For the first time in a while, Apple chose to put its best, fastest, and possibly most efficient silicon in just half of its new phones. The iPhone 14 and 14 Plus get the A15 Bionic chip found in the iPhone 13 Pro and 13 Pro Max, while the iPhone 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max get the all-new 4nm process A16 Bionic. Price $899 and £949 for a 6.7 inches iPhone 14 Plus might sound good on paper, but consumers will, apparently, gladly pay $1,099 and £1,199 for the full-featured iPhone 14 Pro Max, what they consider the best iPhone, even in these cash-strapped times. At least Apple and its carrier partners are offering some decent iPhone 14 deals. There are even $1,000 trade-in deals in the US, though Apple and the carriers have to verify the trade-in value, and don't expect to get that kind of cash for an iPhone 6 or even an iPhone 8. If we're talking about value, though, the iPhone 14 Pro Max earns its keep with snappy performance, a truly radiant screen that now can reach a sun-beating 2000 nit brilliance, while also delivering new low-power 1Hz always-on display functionality that's just there for a quick glance. The thing people will be talking about is the new dynamic island. Count us among those who were completely surprised by Apple's unusual solution for the notch, an island of flexible display floating just a few millimeters from the top edge of the screen. This island still contains the front camera and sensors for 3D measurement as part of Face ID, but some technology, like the proximity sensor, is now hidden behind the display. What's left is actually a pair of cutouts, one pill-shaped and one a circle, but with a small area of active screen between them. Altogether, it looks like a smaller cylinder and can appear all black when it isn't active with some animation or notification. However, it has the remarkable ability to transform based on screen activity and gestures. There is some reasonable concern about what so much swiping across the front-facing camera might mean for selfies, but at least there's an oliphobic coating to reduce smudges on the lens. An always-on display that can refresh at just 1 Hz to save battery has been a long time coming. Apple has been well behind the competition in implementing this feature, but as ever it's done it in its own way. It's nice to be able to see the time, date, and information-filled widgets on your iPhone screen without having to touch and unlock it, although it does kill the battery somewhat. The upgraded camera array finally brings pixel binning to the iPhone, a favorite feature on numerous Android devices, which combines brightness and color data from 4 pixels on the sensor for improved low-light performance and color accuracy. For the main camera, Apple has gone with a 48MP sensor, although this is more of a technological advancement than a headline number, as you'll see below. This sensor is, by the way, paired with an excellent lens. You can also shoot in 48MP ProRAW mode, which is great for pro shooters. The 12MP ultra-wide camera still offers a field of view of 120 degrees, which is wide enough in our books, and the quality is enhanced with a much larger sensor and more focused pixels. This is reflected in brighter and more vibrant wide-angle photos and much improved macro photography, which also uses the new ultra-wide lens. Apple can't, however, seem to figure out how to give us more than 3x optical zoom, even as competitors are offering 10x optical and 100x space zoom. We would have settled for 5x optical zoom. Instead of greater zoom, you get an additional in-between level of 2x optical zoom, which is more useful than it sounds, especially because the zoom is really just employing a central chunk of the full 48MP sensor. No compression, just a marquee from the main sensor that gives you enough information to get closer without losing any quality as you would with a digital zoom. Powering the whole show is the new A16 Bionic chip. It's an upgrade from the A15 Bionic, with 16 billion transistors and a smaller, more efficient 4nm process. The benchmarks and the real-world performance appear to bear out the strength of this new Apple silicon, which reaches into almost every corner of iPhone 14 Pro Max performance. Between the new display technology, more efficient A16 Bionic, and the size of the 14 Pro Max, we expected more than the 13 hours of mixed-use battery life we got, although this can be improved when removing the always-on display. Further testing indoors with the screen kept on all day and mostly streaming video resulted in essentially double that 13-hour figure and much closer to Apple's estimated 29 hours of streaming video performance. This, by the way, is Apple's first SIM-only iPhone. It's weird, but also pleasing to lose the SIM tray, and thankfully the eSIM setup was remarkably easy. While we could experience the new eSIM, we did not, for obvious reasons, test the new crash detection feature nor the new emergency satellite SOS. We did see the latter in action though, more on that in the full review further down. iPhone 14 Pro Max. Price and release date. 128 GB. Price $1,099 and £1,199. 256 GB. Price $1,199 and £1,309. 512 GB. Price $1,399 and £1,529. 1 TB. Price $1,599 and £1,740. Design. Familiar Pro design. Size only slightly different. Display has a fresh look without the notch. Display, 6.7 inches Super Retina XDR is still gorgeous. Dynamic Island replaces the notch. Adaptive refresh and always-on are welcome additions. Cameras, finally gets a 48MP quad-pixel sensor. Upgrades across the board for the 3-lens array. True depth camera gains autofocus. Battery life disappoints with always-on display. 26 hours possible with limited indoor use. Always-on and outdoor, ultra-bright use reduces battery life hard. Audio, impressive audio quality. Microphones perform well in voice calls. Performance and specs, Apple's latest A16 Bionic. Built on a more efficient 4nm process. 1 billion more transistors than the A15 Bionic. Approximately 6 GB of RAM with no option for more. eSIM and satellite connectivity. No SIM slot in the US. UK can't really use eSIM feature yet. Satellite connectivity free for 2 years. Coming November. iPhone 14 Pro Max in. iOS 16 shines. iOS 16 out the box. The new lock screen is a big win. So if you want to buy iPhone 14 Pro Max, tell us in comment below. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.